Nice seeing everybody here tonight, even though it's so cold outside, but it's nice and warm in here.
Mike, another?
At American Legion Post 449 in Brookfield.
How are you guys doing?
Not everybody in America has experienced it.
Military veterans.
So you were just right after the Vietnam War.
Come to share their war stories.
I was in a foxhole the day that President John Kennedy was killed.
The Band of Brothers.
It was quite a hair-raising experience from my end of it.
At the bar.
Up Urban Manhattan?
With the background music.
I've heard there's a wicked war, a blazing.
You haven't seen a singer like that probably since the 40s.
The taste of war I know so very well.
Which is a war story all its own.
I left England in late 40s. I married an American soldier after the Second World War who was stationed there.
English transplant Joyce Bevan.
No, I can't talk English anymore, you know. Governor?
Has been speaking through her piano, tickling the ivories, for a half century.
I never talk about my age. I'm old, I'm in my 70s, and I'm very happy to be who I am. And thank the Lord for letting me be here.
Ooh, sweet Caribbean telephone number.
She is one of those performers whose life sounds like a legend. She learned to play in the dark during the air raids of World War II.
I would sit and play the piano and pick up, because I can't read music at all. And I would just start playing the piano and thinking, well, if something happens that I get blinded in an air raid, I'll be able to play the piano.
Red roses too.
She can see through her rose-colored glasses, but to this day, she still doesn't read music, just her handwritten reminders of the lyrics.
A person that reads music and is a real professional concert pianist, they will hear all the mistakes I'm making, but I do it my way.
She's something of a sequined Sinatra, playing and swaying with glitz and glitter.
I wanna see my baby sugar shake.
When you're an entertainer, dress like an entertainer. And nowadays it's hard to see women go out and dress glitzy, but that's my thing. And I think it adds to the atmosphere, you know? And people like that.
It's another one. Thank you.
The performance is a 2-hour tour de force, pausing only when she's parched.
Okay, everybody drink.
And when the music starts again,
Woo, little Tina Turner.
She bangs away at it, let me tell you.
I just couldn't take anymore.
and her bejeweled fingers clack the keys, it's hard not to slap the bar along with her and to crack a smile.
They just want to have a good time, and she's a good time gal.
You'd see somebody with a smile on their face, and you know you're touching their heart.
Her voice punctuates the piano.
I'm gonna roll all over you.
With oohs and woos.
And as long as I can make somebody happy, that makes me happy.
Marion, to you. Honest T-bone, baby.
She performs here, beneath the banner, out of a sense of patriotism and pain.
I have such a connection to the GIs in my mind.
Her son, Randy, died on the battlefield.
Yeah, he was killed in Vietnam. He was 19. That's, what can I say?
Now she plays for his memory and for all the military.
I feel that I have to give back. I have to do for him.
Always remember.
And in a way, his memory lives on in her music.
I want to bring back a memory. I want to make them happy while they're here and make them feel welcome in our post.
Lemon or lime?
And every Friday night, as the vets gather in Post 449 to share their stories,
We gotta do what we gotta do. All right.
she shares hers,
Oh, to the prairies.
speaking the universal language.
God bless our troops and bring them home.
In Brookfield, Mike Lowe, Fox 6 News.
God bless America.
The songs that these singers have and kept for us go back for generations.
The power of images. On full display at this Indian powwow, a celebration of Native American traditions.
I I get to embrace my ancestors, my grandmother, my grandfather. We're a part of a bigger community, a bigger sort of purpose.
Among the dancers is Mark Denning. If his face is familiar, you'll see why in a moment. As a Marquette University student back in 1979, he arrived on campus just as the school was moving toward a more dignified sports symbol and away from the cartoonish Willy Wampum Warrior mascot.
With a huge papier-mâché head, with a tiny little feather on the top, and he had a tomahawk, and he would perform sort of dances and fun things that people found entertaining on the court. People loved it. So that was a time when people were proud of that native image. But what was that image really?
It was a question facing a university striving to be more sensitive. Denning was approached by school officials with an idea.
What if we use an actual American Indian person to represent Marquette University?
Eventually, Denning portrayed the first warrior at Marquette University basketball games in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Then, it went a step farther.
The face on the Marquette logo from the 1980s is my face. I bought into that, in fact, so much that I signed my likeness away so Marquette University could use my likeness on the Marquette Warriors logo in the 1980s.
But his perspective changed one day while standing in line at the university bookstore.
I saw my face on these drawers, and there are multiple faces on underwear. And I just shaking my head, and I thought, what's going on? Because that's my face, and now people are using it for underwear.
And suddenly, for him, the Indian logo debate was crystallized in a single question. Were these logos about having fun, or were they about making fun?
People are using this as entertainment. We're not any more than that right now.
The man who was a logo was now against them.
I knew in my senior year that this had come off the rails. It wasn't what we were intending, and I was partly to blame for that.
As a national debate over the issue rages with controversy swirling around the NFL's Redskins,
if someone of that race comes to you and says, your mascot, your name is offensive, it is.
a fierce fight exploded in the Wisconsin legislature.
Somehow, we believe that the process is fair and balanced for someone who doesn't even make up 1%.
It centers on one school in southeastern Wisconsin.
How is that offensive? I don't get it. I really don't.
The Mukwonago Area School District has refused to change its Indians' nickname, despite a state law and a court ruling.
We honor that. We're proud of it. It shows strength, values. That's what I get out of it.
The Indian name and logo, in full headdress, is still splashed across the stands and the school's signage.
It's not anything negative at all.
We are the Indian Cell!
Current Wisconsin law makes it easy for citizens to challenge Indian mascots and have them removed. But controversial bills passed through both the Senate and the Assembly would change that, making it easier for schools to keep their mascots, even over the objections of Native Americans.
Where do we stop?
Republican State Representative Steve Nass authored the bill. He says the state should not legislate matters of taste.
Can something be offensive? Sure. Does that mean it's discrimination? No, it doesn't.
Indians forever. It just kind of gives you a little bit of a reality of what it really means to Mukwonago to lose this logo.
You don't get that at a high school football game where you get is lots of cheering either for these Indians.
Touchdown, Indians!
So 14 schools cheering against people that are pretending to be Indians. Ready, Bobby?
But for Mark Denning, it's not pretend, it's personal. The man whose face was the kind of logo he's now fighting against says the debate is really about recognizing and reclaiming the power of images.
All they'll do is, like at Mukwonago, wear a shirt. Children wear a shirt that will say, always Indian. But what does that mean? I have a letter jacket I got from Goodwill for $12.99. And for $12.99, I can take Indian on and off my shoulders anytime. But I can't take Indian out of my life at any time. That's what I am, it's what I was born as, and it's who I'll be.
In Milwaukee, Mike Lowe, Fox 6 News.